Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cooking Light Sodium, Low Sodium with Gina. So today, instead of making a meal or a dinner entree, we're going to make cookies. So one of my favorite products is this NRG. You can find the link on my page. It's baking soda substitute. There's also a baking powder substitute. I use them both. They have no sodium in it. So it allows us to have cookies or cake or any of the baking type ingredients would be used with this substitute instead. It cuts down on the sodium considerably. So these cookies, for 2 of them, you have about 8 milligrams of sodium. And what I do is I make up my batch of cookies, freeze them individually, and then each night you can take out a couple and make them fresh and hot and warm, a warm fresh cookie. So in my KitchenAid mixer, which I absolutely love, I got this as a wedding gift and it is one of my favorite products. I have a 1/4 cup of white sugar, 2 sticks of softened butter, and a whole cup of brown sugar. So we're gonna mix that, cream that. I have 2 whole eggs and a tablespoon of vanilla. So once this is creamed, I'm going to add that in. Now, my husband's very favorite cookie is oatmeal raisin. And I was always, well, oatmeal raisin, I can give or take it. I never found an oatmeal raisin recipe that I really liked, and so I never really made it for him until now. This recipe is like my favorite. It is so good. And we're a nut family. We're a nutty family. And it calls for optional, a 1/2 cup of, it calls for walnuts. I use pecans. Instead, I have a whole cup in here. A whole cup. So, like I said, we're a nutty family. So, we put the eggs in, we put the vanilla in, we cream the sugar. Now we have 3 cups of oatmeal. So I'm going to add that in. Start mixing that up. And then we have our flour blend. So I did a 1/2 cup of whole wheat flour, a cup of regular white flour. Now, the one thing about the baking soda and baking powder substitutes, you have to use twice as much. So the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So I use 2 teaspoons baking soda. And then it calls for 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. And the cinnamon also just gives it just that extra yummy flavor. So let's add in our flours. And then lastly, we have a cup of raisins and a cup of, well, like I said, pecans. I'm using pecans. What I do is I buy my pecans, my almonds, my nuts from Costco. And you buy them in the baking section, so they have no sodium on them, but they're also raw. So what I do is I throw them in the oven at 325, 350, about 15 to 20 minutes. I check them every 5 minutes, shake them up, stir them up. The pecans roast faster than the almonds, so if I put them both in, I usually leave the almonds definitely that 20-25 minutes even, but the pecans are usually done in about 15 minutes. So as you can see, we're getting a nice thick heavy batter here. Time to add in our raisins. And lastly, our nuts. Mix that up real well. And then, another gift that I absolutely love, I got my little scooper. So I just use 1 little scoop for cookie. And like I said, I'll put them on the tray, stick the tray in the freezer, and they take maybe 15 minutes, maybe ½ hour. I guess I've never really timed it. I just check. When they seem a little bit frozen, I throw them in a big Ziplock baggie, and right on there, I believe you cook 4, oh shoot, now let me think. 350, not 450, 350 for about 13 minutes I found. It says, 11 to 14. I found 13 in our oven is the perfect temperature. So that is how you make, let me just show you here. Nice dough, push that through, get a nice little scoop. And you can see one little scoop cookie. So I will fill, the nice thing is you're not putting these in the oven, so you don't have to worry about them spreading. You can stack them real close so you can get as many on the tray as you can. Stick them in the freezer, and then when they seem frozen, get a big Ziploc baggie and right on the baggie, 350, I would say, depending on your oven, 11 to 14 minutes, and you have fresh cookies. So you can make as many as you want. Like I said, we try to keep it to a minimum, so we do 2 a night. Or, if I don't want them warm, I'll make them during the day. Sometimes, the chocolate chip cookies I think are better warm. The oatmeal cookies I think are a little bit better if I make them earlier in the afternoon. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day and check back. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna show this week. Maybe you'll catch me in my pajamas. Like I said, we're nutty. I do want to show you a couple breakfast items. I make breakfast at 5:15, so if I'm still in my pajamas and wonky hair, you know why. So everyone, have a great day.